guys, how's it going? I'm back with another 10 metal bands you haven't heard but should. This one is a few days behind really because of some postage delays, which of course are inevitable at the minute. We're under lockdown. But first up, I'm just going to make a note that we have 4 releases, which is the sort of other half of the stuff Morbid Chapel sent me. If you watched the last video, you'll know they sent me a bunch of really cool stuff. In that one we had more of the war metal and death metal. This time it's much more black metal oriented. So first up we have Morbid Winds. This is a really nice little EP of old school 90s sounding Scandinavian and also kind of some late 80s black metal. There's some Hellhammer and Celtic Frost vibes on this. Something I always will enjoy in a record. It's very gritty. The artwork sort of tells you it's very kind of lo-fi, just nasty black metal. Bit of Impaled Nazarene kind of savagery to it as well. It's really good stuff. So yeah, if you like your old school nasty Northern European black metal, then definitely check out Morbid Winds. Next up we have some much more raw black metal from Profane Congregation. Really nice logo here, but not featured on the album cover for some reason or another. This is 4 tracks. They're quite long tracks on the whole. I think 2 or 3 of them are a good 10 minutes long, so I'm guessing that this would be an album, even though it's only 4 songs, but album, EP, demo, whatever you want to call it. It's really good raw black metal. With the longer tracks, there's a very organic growth and quite a very natural ambience to just the way the instruments work and the riffs are layered. It's really good if you like raw black metal. This is definitely going to be one for you. Next up, we have Ancient Flame, who bring a bit more kind of melody and again, maybe sort of more Finnish style black metal. Really good stuff. Once again, a lot of these 4 releases are very kind of old school black metal, so I'm possibly going to blaze through them or repeat myself a bit, but yeah, these are definitely 4 if you like old school black metal to visit Morbid Chapel Records on Bandcamp or something and check out Ancient Flame. Really nice, quite catchy and memorable black metal. Really good songwriting and musicianship on this one. And next up we have Vintlechkeit, which is a compilation. It's 2 EPs or demos, Vinteren in Svartfjellet and Dødsted, which definitely Norwegian. So Winter in Black Mountains is the main release. So it's 5 tracks. I'm pretty sure they are, like I say, taken from 2 previously released demos perhaps. But it makes a kind of nice album. It's about an hour long, I think. So if you like your more atmospheric stuff like Torque and Vindir and those kinds of more natural, like naturey kind of sounding Norwegian black metal bands, then definitely check out Vintlechkeit because it's really, really nicely done. It's definitely got a rawness to it. There's, I guess, likenable to Shooter and stuff, of course, also from Norway. But yeah, you've got some very nice Norwegian black metal. So I'm just looking at the titles to remind myself, yeah, it's 5 songs. But yeah, if you like Norwegian black metal and you want something from now, then definitely check this out. It's really good compilation, very nice demos. Which segues nicely onto our first non-Morbid Chapel Records release, which is Fel Warden. Very good atmospheric black metal, sort of akin to Old Corpse Road from here in the UK, and Vintlechkeit and Fen. Those kinds of UK black metal bands are definitely comparable. I believe Fel Warden actually shares members with Fen. The Watcher is the sole musician as it appears on this one, who I believe is involved in Fen. I may be wrong on that entirely. But yeah, if you enjoy your more folky, atmospheric black metal, the more kind of pretty melodic stuff, this is definitely a very good release of that. I'm quite funny with atmospheric black metal in that I find a lot of it too soft or just, in some cases, actually just a bit boring, but there's enough riffs, there's enough balls, for want of a better word, to this has bite, let's say, to it, that definitely keeps it rooted in the black metal camp without becoming too kind of flowery for my taste. But that said, it is quite a stunning release, and it's definitely the kind of thing if you were going for a nice mountain walk or wherever your landscape is, that you can probably enjoy this with it. Now we have a Icelandic black metal band and a kind of Icelandic black metal band, with very similar album covers that I keep nearly getting the wrong way round. So first up we have Hrae, which a solo project of a certain musician from Gudvaiki, from Iceland as well, who's, if you like Icelandic black metal, you may be familiar with, but this is the debut album of Hrae. It's Það sem Skepna Rækja. I can't speak Icelandic at all because I'm not an ancient Norseman, unfortunately. And Iceland never really progressed past ancient Norse too much, which is why it's probably my favourite language, but one I do not speak. So if you like Icelandic black metal, this is all the claustrophobic, murky dissonance, the fierce groove. There's tons of melody and ambience, and it's just really haunting. You know, if you like that kind of almost psychoactive kind of thing that bands like Andevald and Wormlust have, then Hrae will definitely tickle that fancy. Yeah, it's an absolutely phenomenal, pretty much flawless debut. The vinyl, I believe, is coming out, but I was impatient and bought the tape because I reviewed this on its release at the start of this year, and I've been pretty much checking almost daily for a physical version, and I'm really happy there is one. Really cool artwork, as kind of makes me think of the big rats in Bloodborne, and that's never a bad thing. So yeah, definitely check out Hrae. Now we have the sort of Icelandic black metal album, which is Skaphe, or Skaphe, I think it's Skaphe, which is one of the many projects of black metal's probably best current musician, Alex Paul, but also with Mr. Darge Gonzalez from Misthumming. I think those two are the sole members, with it being Alex Paul's brainchild and Darge handling vocal duties from what I've ascertained from the metal archives. There may be other musicians involved. This is the debut album, it might be worth noting. So yeah, again, it's similar kind of vein as Hrae or Hrae. If you like your murky, psychedelic-y, twisted, discordant black metal, very much how the Icelandics do things best, then it's just such a stunning and haunting release. There is a second album, there is a split with Wormlust, and they are putting out their third album on Mistis Chaos this year, I think at the end of September, so that's something to be really excited for. But this is the only Skaphe release I have, which is the debut. But yeah, again, if you put these two together, they don't just look great together, they sound great, they're very complementary releases. So yeah, real Icelandic black metal gems there. Now for something's happening in my neighbour's house, so if you hear any scraping noises, apologies. Now for some straight up HM2 Swedeath worship from Japan. Frostvore with their new album, and I believe their debut, Drowned by Blood, on Testimony Records. This is the lovely hand-numbered digipack by Dennis over in Germany. He puts out some great stuff, a lot of Swedish-style death metal, which if I can do this without making a mess, I am a very big fan of, and play myself with Garden of Eyes, which I have an announcement coming very soon for Garden of Eyes, for those interested. But anyway, I digress. Frostvore is another example of the Japanese taking a more European-oriented sound like Swedish death metal and putting it into overdrive, if you'll pardon the pun, and just going crazy on it. These guys have absolutely nailed it on this album. It's filthy, crusty, groovy, loads of D beats, loads of just stupidly catchy hooks. If you like all those bands like the kind of more death and roll era of Entombed, you like Carnage, Dismember and stuff, then you're gonna like this one. Now for some Black-Thrash, which I think has actually been a little while since I've had some really good Black-Thrash on here. But we have Condor, who I do not believe are together anymore, sadly, from Norway. I know one of the guys from one of the Obliteration live guys was in Condor. I think they shared a live member with Deathhammer. But they're from a Kolbotn in Norway, which has its own little scene going. This is Unstoppable Power, with artwork by Rock, who is one of my favourite artists, on High Roller Records. Really cool visuals for this. But yeah, if you like Deathhammer and those kinds of bands, Aura Noir, the kind of Norwegian Black-Thrash stuff, definitely going to be to your taste. Just ripping extreme metal madness done brilliantly. It's debaucherous, it's fast, it's primal, it's got tons of energy, tons of good riffs. You're going to be kind of screeching along to this one and doing all those air guitar leaps that we all do in private, so don't fucking lie. Great stuff, Condor, phenomenal Norwegian Black-Thrash metal. And now probably the big one of the video, a band that I've not actually had on here yet, but have very conveniently just put out an album to coincide with my video. So thank you to Necrot for basing your new record off my YouTube channel. Of course, I'm kidding, but this is Mortal from Necrot, who are a fantastic band mixing the likes of Bolt Thrower with their kind of punky, touched death metal with some kind of undergangy grooves and swampiness and some, you know, big benediction just hooks. If you like your death metal just to be nasty, straight up 90s, then it doesn't really get any better than this. This is on Tank Crimes, who have similar candidates at nailing old school death metal such as Mortuous. Absolutely great album. Their first album and the compilation album were really good, but I think Mortal just blows them out of the water for me. There's so many good riffs, some nice longer songs such as the closing title track being over 8 minutes that just really have a expansive and just great flow to them. It's the kind of album you finish, you just press play again and you don't get sick of it. It's great death metal from Necrot, who just nailed it. Also mentioning Undergang, their resident swamp monster David Mikkelsen did the logo. Just a fun little fact that I realised the other day looking through the liner notes. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this 10 metal bands you haven't heard but should. Nice black metal one. I feel like I've done a bit more death metal stuff recently and I like to keep a balance. If you want to check out my record posting on Instagram, you can follow me. I write reviews, all that usual stuff. My links are down below. I have obviously a bunch of bands and stuff, as mentioned with Garden of Eyes. And now I'm going to listen to Disaster and try and deal with the hay fever. Until next time, stay metal.